Hi, I'm Weird Wendy, and this is me making stuff. So it started with the sketch, and it became this steampunk factory. So I cut this window first out of this box I just had, and then I cut a clear Christmas bauble and put some green in it. And now I'm trying to figure out how to make steampunky, vortex-y sort of thing. So I covered this piece that I cut out with tin foil, and I just put some alcohol inks, and I'm just kind of spinning them around, trying to get a vortex pattern. We'll see. And then when I set that over it, hopefully, no. We'll see. I'll get back to you on this part. And now I'm just doing the very super boring part of taking some scraps of styrofoam, the cheap foam core stuff from Dollar Tree, peeled the paper off, took a razor blade, or actually it was an old paring knife that I kind of broke, and sliced in these lines, and now I'm going over them with this little thingy. I don't really know what it's called, but I'll be going over each of these cuts and making them deeper, and yeah, you don't need to see all of it, but that's what I'm doing. I have filled this box with just scrap styrofoam to kind of make it have a little more structure so it can support the weight of the upper levels. And this is going to be the base of the factory. And now I'm hot gluing the lid down, and then I will flip it upside down. But that will be the foundation. So I hot glued the piece that I had painted inside this portion of the Christmas bauble, and it actually looks pretty cool. Over here, it kind of shifts with the light, and I kind of like it. I think it's going to be good. So I cut the ring around a cup lid, cut the inside out. I'm going to keep the inside because look at that. It has a very gear-like quality, so I'm pretty sure I'll be able to use that somewhere. So I'm saving that. To hide the nasty, I cut some craft foam, the very thin, cheapy craft foam, and lined that. Still need to smooth off some of the cardboard that shows through, but it's very sticky, and my fingers are completely covered with Mod Podge and glue and all sorts of other crap. So I will clean all that up, let it dry. Oh, I did prime it, just so you can see. I took it out, put a coat of primer. It looks very silvery. It's not silver. It's a gray primer, but primed it. Of course, since it was foam, I first put a coat of Mod Podge all over the foam, so that the spray paint didn't eat the foam. And this looks like just a little chunk of hot glue that, I don't know, maybe I'll leave it on there. It's part of the roughness of the look. I don't know, it might come off, we'll see. So that's where we're at right now. This is like it was gonna be a clock tower, then it ended up being this weird green orb tower. It will go on top of the other box that already built as the foundation. And now I'm trying to decide if I really want to create all these bricks again for the big foundation, because that's a lot of brick, but I might need to, so I'll have to think about that. But that's where we're at. To fill in these little cracks along here, I've decided I would just dip my brush in some water. And I have this little thing of baking powder, or baking soda, I should say, baking soda that I keep here. I often use it with super glue to make a concrete if I'm basting a mini. But for this situation, I'm just wanting to fill this in. I can't use super glue because that will eat the styrofoam. So I'm just mixing it with water, and then I can put a little bit of glue over that. But it just kind of makes a mortar to kind of fill that in, and especially over here where I want to look like the bricks are kind of ruined. Sorry, lighting is bad. And yeah, I did take off that little piece of hot glue. I didn't like it. So took that off, put in some baking powder on here, and making some kind of a stucco crumbled ruin sort of look. And I'll probably put just some Elmer's glue on that and finish that up. So I'm back over at this table. I'm looking at the roof. I decided I wanted it to look like a tin roof, so I took the insides out of a piece of corrugated cardboard. There's a lot of glue on this, so I had to take my big knife and go through and scrape all these little bits off of here. And I don't want it to be flat though, because a flat roof, obviously you wouldn't use corrugated for that. So it has to have a little bit of a tilt. So I think I will cut a piece of foam and slip that under there so that then it has a little bit of a tilt to it before I attach it. And I've got a Proxon over there. I'll probably use that to cut the foam. And I'm trying to decide if I want it in a wedge shape or if I just want to put a flat piece on the other end to lift it. I may do a wedge to give it a little more stability. So that's going to be the next thing that I will work on. So I did a slight change. I was originally going to put pieces of styrofoam on there and try to bevel it. Then I realized I'm going to have this gap on the end. So why not just take a rectangular piece of balsa, cut it with a knife, and I will be putting those on each side. And if there may be a little gap down here, I can fill that in with some spackle or hot glue or something to kind of camouflage it. But that will make a much nicer finish. And then I'll take another board and put that along here of balsa and fill in those gaps. I want some pipes coming out of the roof of this building. I don't know what kind of weird stuff is going on in the building, but something's giving out a green glow, and I'm going to assume that that's going to produce some steam, and I'm going to need some pipes. And I have this little bubble wand from the Dollar Tree that I think might be just the thing, but I kind of want to reuse this on something else. I'm going to take that part off. And I'm going to stick a hole in here and figure out where I want it and kind of put it in here. But it does have bubbler on the side, which I don't want. So I'm going to find some things that I can cover this with, and maybe just some, cardboard, maybe like cereal box or something, and make it almost look like this is a piece of metal. Yeah, I'll cut a piece of cardboard and cover over the words and put a little rivets on it with some gemstones for nails and make it look like it's been kind of patched together. So I tried using styrofoam, little craft foam. I've tried cardboard. I hated it. So I've come out to the workshop, left the studio, came to the workshop so I can get the big guns. And this might be a huge mistake, but I am going to try using the grinder. I could get the Dremel out, but this is already mounted and maybe it'll be easy and quick, or maybe it will completely destroy this. We'll see. This grinder was way too noisy, so I took out what I was saying here, but ultimately it worked. But it was really rough, so afterwards I poured resin over it.